Отлично. Теперь скажи мне, пожалуйста, слышно ли меня и насколько хорошо? Да ёб твою мать, какого хуя я-то с помехой? Ты должно быть идеально. Сука. Это дело в ОБС-ке. Теперь понятно, что в ОБС. Ну, хотя бы теперь мне нормально слышно игру. Если у нас есть объемный звук. А если мы выключим компрессор? Какой-то плагин, который, по идее, должен быть... Воу. Какая-то дешевая дичь. Вау. Значит, дело в ёбаной ОБС-ке. Выпускной уровень шума, усиление шумоподавления, экспандер. Что такое экспандер? Соотношение порог срабатывания атак восстановления выходного населения. Что это? Ну, бля. Я сделал все, что мог. Зато хотя бы вроде как нет шумов, которые были до этого. Я надеюсь. Ну, то есть вот это шум ветра в игре. И типа все настройки звука, которые я мог... Не, режим студии не надо. Все настройки, которые я могу сделать именно по вывод. Битрейт видео, аудио. Динамики, микрофон. И все остальное, но все остальные настройки по видео. Вот. Видимо, будем считать роботизированный голос своей фишкой, я не знаю. Потому что пока у меня нет идей, как это вообще пофиксить. Возможно, нужен отдельный какой-то профиль для ОБС, который что-то делает. Однако, здравствуйте. Сука, ты не хочешь использовать микрофон, который... Какого хуя ты не используешь микрофон, который внутри? Компьютер показывает, что микрофон наушников используется. И он говорит, что используются наушники ОБС. А ОБС говорит, что наушники не используются. Кто из вас мне пиздит? Кто из вас пиздит мне в лицо? А теперь, походу, выключилась игра. Отлично. Но должно быть слышно с микрофона, который на наушниках, а не с микрофона, который на компьютере. В чем дело? Компьютер его видит. Решить правильно доступ микрофона. Выбрать приложение на Microsoft Store не нужно. Все включено. Ну, ёбаный рот. Я хуй знает. Честно говоря, я, блядь, делал все, что мог. Можем еще зафотать на это изображение, это сцена. Что это фотофильтр, свойства. Мы не можем их трогать. Почему я не могу использовать свойства? Микрофон Realtek аудио. Он Realtek аудио. ОБС-ка не видит. Ах ты сука. А почему у меня два устройства воспроизведения? Кто из вас что воспроизводит? Хорошо. Тогда просто... О! Оу! Мы дождались! Ну, мы хотя бы не зря страдали. Мы можем увидеть хотя бы вот это. Боже, Гарри, ты... ты такая не балерина. Блять. Видимо, какое-то хуёвое шумоподавление работает. И мне нужно что-то потыкать или скачать отдельные какие-то отдельные фильтры с ОБС. Размялись, пацаны, Боже, как им идет! Они такие клевые. Все, позанимались со своими делишками. Ты физкульт-приветом-то своим позанимались. Ким там вообще? Он так... Так, я снова выключу себя. В смысле, твои оповещения. На 2 часика нормально. Вот. Давайте посмотрим, что мы сегодня не сделали. Нам нужно сегодня все порешать с клубом и церковью. Сегодня у нас что? Что у нас сегодня? Четверг? Да, у нас сегодня четверг. Мы можем поштануться в церковь. Нам нужно все с церковью порешать. Хули криптофашист все еще там, если он должен быть здесь. Oh, one momento.
Hi, gendarme. Another rendezvous. Hello, hello. So what brings you here? Admiring the atmosphere. What about you, officer? Well, here's to you. Oh yes, let's see. He knocked on my door a few days after the lynching. I think he was going through the entire building, asking questions. Nothing. That I didn't see anything. What friend? No, I don't think it came up. Muscular, handsome, strong, like one of those military types. Yes, but he was speaking to someone on his earpiece. Yes, you know those tiny speaker microphones that fancy security guards sometimes wear. Just reporting back whatever I was telling him. Oh, let me think. He had an accent. You sounded like one of those mercenaries. He sounded vaguely Oranese. No, not vaguely, scratch that. He sounded definitely Oranese. Sure. Anything else on your mind? You did? And how did you like him? Aw, shoot. Why not? Friends, I told you. Sunday friends. Friends who like to get together from time to time. Bet he won't be there when times get tough, I guess. It is. On Sundays. A visitor from the first world. He's not like you and me, gendarme. He can always return. To his opportunities in Occident, sur la clé. Still, his coming and going brings some life to the village. Or is it just money? I don't know. He has keys. And he likes the view. To the sea, I mean. What about me, gendarme?
Такой не такой. Блять, а что мы можем для самого? Мы не будем переодеваться, мне так хорошо.
It's the sports. He's a sports guy. All about that physical
Bye-bye, gendarme.
Может быть, мы не так хороши, как я думал. Надо... Мы теперь не трогаем куртку вообще, мы не притрагиваемся к ней, хотя она забирает нас в риторику и добавляет всего лишь сумрак, абсолютно тупые и бесполезные характеристики, но мы будем это использовать. Что нам добавляет? Самообладание. Мне кажется, какие-то джинсы нам добавляют самообладание. Нам типа они нужны на нас. Перчатки только технику. Эти отнимают самообладание. Ага. Of course. Рубашка раз, риторика, логика. Минус 2 грубых силы и 1 трепет. Ну, получается трепет. Плюс 1. И 2 сумрака. Что не бесполезно. Лапка. Больше ничего не дает мишень, да? Допустим. Нахуй мир. Сожмемся еще раз.
Hi, gendarme. Another. Hello, hello. So what brings you here?
Мы по-быстренькому тут пробежимся. Хотя нет, давайте сначала спросим, а потом пробежимся.
Could he be a member of the homosexual underground? This sexual thing seems interesting. Ask around. Become involved.
Мы вступаем в ситуацию, когда электрохимия перестает быть бесполезным куском говна, который портит нам жизнь.
The homosexual underground? Why, yes, I am, officer. Why? Do you want to investigate? Oh, it's a pleasure group. A Sabroso pleasure group congregating in cellars under the cover of night. Saturday night. Sometimes even Friday night. Or Thursday night. Sometimes the congregating doesn't even end. It carries on into our daily life. Oh, we're ambitious. We want to destroy the last vestiges of meaning, the last things people in Rubbish will have to hold on to, the true symbols of security, the meaning of man and woman, mother and father, their marriage. Everything will be constantly shifting and moving under our rule. The future will belong to a circus of identities just spinning around, surreal and unreal. You won't even know who you are anymore. Yes, we listen to a lot of disco. Some say we engineered disco to spread our vision of a vertiginous, ever-changing society, where all there is a razzle-dazzle of gold. We are going to change the family unit with all this razzmatazz and finger dancing. And with mysteries. Of course, the mysteries are also of sexual nature, very esoteric.
Это так хорошо, что звучит незаконно.
Ah, but for the better part of history, it has been illegal. No. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's exactly what we're looking for. Who knows, maybe you were homosexual in the past. Maybe all of that has been repressed.
Подбирается, как зверь готовый к прыжку. Ким, тут как бы у тебя забирают твою законную добычу.
I have to say that you do look like someone who might be part of the underground. You have that very distinctive, I can't understand what's going on here look. Do think about it, officer. Absolutely wonderful. Admiring the atmosphere. What about you, officer? Convenient. But what are you doing here? Talking to me. Oh yes, let's see. He knocked on nothing. That I didn't see it. Why shouldn't he? What friend? No. I don't muscular. Hence, yes, but he was yes, you know those just reporting back whatever let me think. He sounded vaguely or sure. Anything else on your mind? Oh, a committee. How interesting. And if I may ask, Gendarme, what is this committee about? God, of course it is. My friend is always trying to convince me I need a little more responsibility. As though I don't have enough going on already. In any case, I would love to help. But the thing is, I don't know where he is. We don't talk about everything, you see. He might have mentioned something about making a tour of some historical sites up the coast. In an unofficial capacity, of course. Not a clue. I'm not his agenda keeper, you see. I guess you will. You did? And how did you... Oh, shoot. Why not? A visitor from the first to his opportunity, or is it just money? Friends, I told you. That he... It is. He has keys. And he... Hmm? What a... Bye-bye, gendarme.
Итак, у нас появилось гомосексуальное подполье. Ура! Южное шоссе мы еще не додумали. И нам нужно... Ой, блядь. Дохуячков навыков для того, чтобы подумать о том, насколько мы геи. О, привет, Жан.
Again? I can't believe this shit.
А ты не слышал, как я пою? Жаль. Ты всего лишь не перерабатываешь на 25 часов свою норму. Ну, наверное, это хорошо. Ты избегаешь выгорания, в отличие от меня.
Not as famous as you, superstar.
I fear you're misinterpreting the situation.
Talk to me, superstar. What do you want?
The man doesn't reply. He's too busy furiously squinting at you.
Yes? What is it? What precinct?
Am I from? God, he doesn't know.
Fucking deranged lunatic.
Ну, кстати, можно ее спросить. Но ее же здесь не было.
That was pretty good, Harry. Wasn't it, John?
Whoa, how does she know your name? She probably heard it from somewhere. You have to be more careful, karaoke star. Names are dangerous.
That was absolute shit, if you want my opinion. Drunken shit. Haven't wanted anything to end this badly since I had cluster headaches.
Они здесь были, но они были под таким прикрытием, что мы не заметили.
Horrible. Truly horrible. I beg of you, don't ever subject anyone to this torture again. I mean, seriously, you need to...
John, it's not right. Don't make it worse. And I really liked it. Yes, I called you by your name. What about it? Good. Everybody knows your name. Please go finish your investigation, so everyone can go home.
Озвучка дублируется. Блять. Возможно, ОБС теперь слышит 2 микрофона. Хотя до этого не хотел слышать, блять, да не один. Раз. Возможно, так должно лучше. Так должно быть. О, у меня есть бабло. Сирень. Ты дал мне денег, я возьму у тебя крутые штуки.
There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in a small box.
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the latest styles right here.
These are all boring. Boring third-rate ho-hum sunglasses made of cheap Syrahese plastic. The kind... Those UV stickers are almost certainly just there for the show. If anything, these lenses probably direct more UV light into your pupils. A UV magnifier.
These are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium design, super material, very cool, UV resistant. These will definitely keep your eyes safe and cool while doing your dangerous police work.
Abort. These are hideous. What's more, they don't even fit your face. You can feel them pinching your nose and chafing against your brow.
Damn, officer! You look like a mega secret spy. Very secret. They're practically made for you. I'll let you have them for 2 real and 50 cents.
They're perfect for concealing your bloodshot and baggy eyes. It's going to be very difficult for anyone to take you seriously with these things on your face.
No, you are definitely not buying those.
Are you sure? But they look so good on you. You should think this through, officer.
No luck. All you find is this lime-colored cellophane visor, produced by a bargain sportswear brand called Amphibian, apparently. There's a malformed green frog on its bent cap.
Oh, that visor is perfect for you, officer. It'll definitely keep the sun out of your eyes while you're shooting criminals. Bang, bang! And all for a mere 6 real.
Hey, at least it might actually offer some protection against the sun. Not like those cheap plastic shades.
I hope not.
You don't like it? Sure, Square Joe. No problem. Let's get you some real shades.
Это абсолютно замечательная шапка. Но стоит ли она 6 реалов? И надо плюс восприятие. Но восприятие у нас так огромное.
These are all boring. Those UV stickers are all...
These are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium design, super material. You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Keep browsing those clothes, keep saving that economy.
Нет, нам не нужно забирать трепет. На хорошие нам не нужно. Тогда все, что нам остается, это накопить на кроссовки. А это 50 реалов. Ой, 50 реалов. Ёпта.
Top of the morning to you. How may I be of service?
Nope, still no clue. You obviously haven't been doing enough drugs lately.
Traffic? I'm sorry, officer, but I don't drive. I just don't like it very much. Movement on the road never really gelled well with the movement of my thoughts. Now that I think about it, I do remember hearing a thunderous noise the other night. Some kind of powerful electric vortex hitting the shop, and then...
That sure narrows down our list of suspects.
He shakes his head, slowly.
The Koldima Madakwa. Sorry, I would never have guessed that you were that interested in ultrasonic sounds. Or birds, for that matter. That's fair. It's been a long time since my Koldima Madakwa hunting days. Once knew a group of young musicians who decided they didn't want to play music anymore and started looking for all kinds of interesting sounds instead. Cool or not, one of them was obsessed with recording the Koldima Madakwa, and he was one of those passionate people who know a lot about all kinds of strange things. So he got the rest of us to join in his search. We thought we did. We got together all these recordings of unusual sound patterns, compared them, cut them up and combined them into the Symphonia Koldima Madakwa. Unfortunately, I don't have any recordings from my old life. None at all. But I do have a tape with some ultrasonic sounds that might be what you're looking for.
Do we really have time for this?
This recording comes from down the coast. Wasn't looking to record anything specific. Just left a recording device there one morning. Keep in mind, I have to slow this one down enough to make sounds well over 200 kilohertz audible to the human ear. It will be strange.
As the hum grows louder, modulating but always unnaturally uncomfortably low, like it's coming not from the speakers, but also from inside your chest. Breathing is becoming difficult. That's an illusion. Your breathing is just as it was and will remain that way unless you start panicking. He nods to you, reassuringly, just as more diverse, higher-pitched sounds, some random, some appearing to form patterns, hit your eardrums.
Gulls and skewers. But shh.
That's it. The signal in the noise. The thin whisper. A low range of sounds is easier to handle with a focal point, but still troubling. You are mesmerized by the sounds, but also feel nausea welling up as the motif continues, then begins to recede, dissolving in what must be the sound of water lapping at the bank.
You know, now that I've listened to it on these new speakers, it's not the cold Mamadakwa. Wrong patterns, wrong photons. Probably some insect trying to sing higher than its predators can hear. Still, fascinating, aren't they? Early morning sounds.
Очень красиво. На самом деле, если мы узнаем его... короче, на чем он торчит, это будет, по-моему, галоперидол или что-то в этом роде. И, ну, по сути, он не наркоман, он принимает... он был из тех, кто местные... Ну, не местные, а немножко КИМА спокойствие. Что-то в... Я просто не знаю, помним мы эту историю от него или нет, но, короче, он из людей, которые устраняли последствия взрыва местного самодельного ядерного реактора. Так что это, по сути, его обезбол. И еще, видимо, какие-то средства, помогающие ему ощущать его ощущения. И неспокойно.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks, the kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye.
Franco-Nigerian knights. I used to be very serious about these guys.
A long, long time ago.
Когда Ким был маленьким, он сейчас сидел внутри всей своей кавалерии с наклейчиком.
They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords and rifles with bayonets.
This is what the loyalists looked like, yes, at first. Then they wised up and got camouflage.
Which ones? Ah, those. Yes, they are. I find the paint job a bit gaudy, but children like the bright colours indiscriminately.
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols. Some even shovels and tall sticks.
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? Yes, they are soldiers, revolutionary soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win. I don't like either set very much, to be honest, but there are many parents among my customers.
Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say found.
Oh, that's the Headless Phone Rider. The Headless Phone Rider. It's an urban legend about a man who rides the streets of Revachol sporting a fawn tracksuit. 50 cents. Bargain price. I'll throw in the tiny cap too. I think he's looking for it, or something. That part of the story has many interpretations. Did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it with you.
That was a very smooth salesman's grin that almost comes off as earnest. You should learn from him. What a shirt. All other shirts pack.
2 real.
That's dirt cheap.
You should. Welcome to Hyundai, officer.
Чтобы сратость завершилась. Настройка -1. Вот так. Афина огромная. Зачем? Первый шаг на хорошие характеристики, герой главное брать. Мне нравится, насколько у Кима гордая осанка. Просто. Пери-пери-пери-пери-пери. Мы опять забыли, что мы умеем телепортироваться, да? И ладно.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with? I can wash it for you, but it's going to take about a half an hour. Think you can stay put for that long?
Hell yeah. No, we must run around ceaselessly. It would be torture to stay put.
I could use a breather before another rainy day begins.
Well, hand it over then, and I'll see what I can do. Must say, I'm proud of this one. It's pretty nice underneath all that filth. I hope you'll have an easier life in your hands.
К сожалению, нет, бабуль. У меня теперь одна куртка на всю жизнь.
6 crumbling petals rest on your palm.
This is the Insulindian lily, called Maybelle's or Lucille's tears during the Revolution. Girls used to pin these on soldiers before sending them off to battle.
Мы, оказывается, не спрашивали его об этом. Я думал, спрашивали.
The revolutionaries, so the commoners and the anarchists. White's their color, but the custom started in the suzerain's army, so it held meaning for the king's men too. It's about girls and boys more than sight. Girls sending off boys who are going to their deaths, then also dying themselves in the ruins from dysentery and consumption. It's a symbol of the Civil War. Yes, but not this early, not to my knowledge. It looks dried, preserved. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see.
The petals feel dry and fragile in your hand. Water flows under the channel bridge. Dark water. You rub your sides for warmth, but there is none. The feeling recedes.
Tequila Sunset. It's you. You're Tequila Sunset. We've met before. Don't you remember? Maybe. You look like you want to know how Tequila Sunset came to be. Let me take a sip to moisten up my chords. Tequila Sunset rolled into Martinez last Friday. And by Tequila Sunset, I mean you. The man, the myth. Hey, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. This is your story. Stop interrupting. You got here on Friday to solve a case, hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm. And by the worm, I mean the buzz. Because as far as I know, all you did was get piss drunk. Word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people that you're a police officer, and that it would be really fucked up if you shot yourself in the head right in front of them. That's pretty high concept, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, that's totally your style. The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He's listening as casually as he can.
Hey man, I'm not judging. This life's a valley of woes. Some of the highest concept people in history have killed themselves. And been drunks. Either way, it was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, got our drink on. Nothing remarkable about this, we get our drink on 24/7. Makes everything warm and glowy. I trust you know the feeling. One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage revving up somewhere on the plaza, followed by a series of dings and bangs.
Do you remember the sound of wood cracking? The billboard?
Naturally, loud noises pique the interest of anybody owning a pair of ears. That's just the reality we're in. Anyway, there was a brief silence, a gasp of silence, if you will, followed by a real commotion. We heard the carriage careening towards the coast at top speed. Sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed our brewskis and rushed to the jetty. Never underestimate the speed of an alcoholic. What we saw was a sight to behold. A beat-up police carriage containing you. Right there on the beach. You revved the engine and screamed at the top of your lungs. "The time hath come!" So, naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked what time hath come, to which you replied, "The time hath come for Tequila Sunset, the end of all things!" After which, your reality contracted. You jammed the pedal, plowed right off the jetty, and through the ice.
Your hands cramp on the steering levers.
We ran towards the ice, whilst you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt. covered in seaweed and shit, like some kind of sea monster. When we finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. You said that your badge and uniform were in the car. It was too late to get in there, though. The carriage had sunk too deep. Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our condolences and invited you to party with us, which you naturally agreed to. We asked about the whole Tequila Sunset thing, and you told us it was your name now and insisted that we all call you that from then on. I'm not sure. I think you were the event. Tequila Sunset. You know, as opposed to a tequila sunrise, which is long gone. No, that's just what your mother called you. Your real name is Tequila Sunset. Just embrace it, brother. Ours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then, at some point, I think it was Sunday morning, you got belligerent and wanted to talk about Revacholian women. How they're beautiful and also whores and so on. How one of them fucked you real bad. After a short while, you crossed the event horizon, looked sullen, got up, and left without saying anything.
Wow, that's quite a story.
Yeah, I bet Tequila's a fucking legend around the precinct. You must be proud to work with him.
If you only knew.
You told us that they were a bunch of fucking losers whose main interest was cramping your style. No specifics, though. It was more about you that night. You were the star of the show. Beside your gun and your badge, you said something about your hope or heart or something. To be honest, the details are a little hazy. In retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage too? That's a big one. Yeah, you said it was no biggie and that you'd solve it in no time. And that you didn't need anyone to do it. You're doing it solo now.
A lot of cops go solo and hermit once they reach that level of alcoholism.
Yeah, you said that you'd really behaved unreasonably and failed to uphold your responsibilities as a representative of the coalition. You kept apologizing for being such a bad cop and for the damage you inflicted on everyone around you. You also kept pausing to knock the heel of your hand against your temples, saying, "Stupid, stupid, stupid." You were pretty vague about it, but you kept saying you got fucked real hard, and that we've all been fucked too.
No one's fucked me. I do the fucking around here.
Abigail! It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, I'd say you're still working through some shit. It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs. We are saving the world.
Please! Please don't call. Don't!
Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol. That's what we're doing. I tried to save the world once, a long time ago, with enterprise, creativity, and willpower. But that didn't work out. So now, it's a pirate's life for me. You too, Tequila Sunset.
Его можно спрашивать истории, но взамен на выпивку.
The noxious odor emanating from the drunken man is strong and familiar.
Don't you call her? Yeah! Don't call Abigail! Abigail! Don't call her!
Never thought you'd see such a thing in your life. But this guy's a little too drunk.
Don't call Abigail!
He snorts and beckons you to lean in closer.
Don't call Abigail. Don't call Abigail.
The man hiccups, then mumbles something unintelligible.
There's no use in yelling at drunks. He's barely holding it together.
The drunk man starts. He does not sound well at all.
Don't you fucking call her! Hear me? Abigail? Don't call.
There was little chance he'd be a reliable witness anyway.
A drop in temperature, an easy flow of air, an empty street. Before you, a thoroughfare unjammed with lorries. No more drivers smoking on hitch steps. Just silence. Chemically sweetened. Across the road, a forgotten bus stop. Corrosion has opened a hole in its roof. An elm tree watches over the building. Its branches are dripping with rain and snow. The road is smooth and motley. Craters filled with a black asphalt. The asphalt, first laid, is grey already. A row of tenements are under construction in the distance. A tub warm with water, white with soap. A man bathes while radio waves transmit the lottery numbers. 4, 18, 21, 4, 1. A modern washing machine rattles a drawer full of silverware. His boyfriend is on his way home. He brings tins of meat and vegetables with him. Their pockets are heavier with money, but only slightly. Number 312D. Young girls used to come here, huddled up, hoping for more warmth than their thin coats give them. The bus took them to school. It has not run for 8 years. There were not enough girls to sustain its cost. Craters pocked the surface. Children played in them until heavy trucks full of black pitch rolled in. The landowners have filled the craters with money. It is a vital artery of the flow of trade. There's one bump on the road. A dead dog lies flat about 200 paces away, right at the turn. Tragedy comes from the wheels of a fast RCM vehicle, hurrying to work. The cold washes over you. The sound of the sea has grown distant. The wind moves the aerosol. A detective stands behind the boom barrier. A breeze moves a curl of his hair. Hey, her Innocence Dolores Day liked little figurines, right? Liked holding little men between her fingers, remember? You have the headless Fallen Rider figurine. You should give it to her. Win her back. Don't be so pessimistic. Love doesn't die that easily. No, it would have been beautiful. Really tiny, thoughtful, clever. Whatever this was, it feels like you made the right choice not to peek into it. The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print button. A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Oh no, it was already glowing and now it's also making a sound? it's probably some alien SEO-like technology. The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good morning, Fortress Accident on Saint-Brune. This is the East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
This is a human interface. A retired person sitting behind a switchboard somewhere.
Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne. Now please repeat. Is this the personal log?
She repeats passwords. Programming people are
They're merely cautious. It's my job to protect their filaments as a password repeater at the East Insulindian Station.
On an island on the river Esperance, a small woman, all skin and bones, sits in a room filled with audio equipment. Thousands of tiny lights are reflected back from her prescription lenses, like stars in the dark.
Now, please tell me why you're calling Fortress Accident. The company on whose name the terminal you're currently using has been registered to. One moment. Fortress Accident SCF produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says. Any other questions? Goodbye, Fortress Accident.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons.
Кстати, мы совсем забыли. Трехствольный капсульный револьвер ИГРАЕМ обычно выдается офицерам ИГРАЕМ при получении звания сержанта. Приклад воспроизводится сбоку вырезана надпись «Вставай парабеллум». Это совершенно точно твоя.
Holding the gun feels natural and satisfying. It's like an extension of your arm, the polished wooden handle almost fusing into your palm. It reminds you of the day you first held it, with fear and respect, hoping you don't have to use it in vain. The sun was out in Jamrock. It was so long ago. Sheathe your sidearm, officer. A serious law official, cop by the book, should know to only unholster their service weapon when using it is unavoidable. This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic. Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced. Perhaps the web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants. Looks like a surveillance program. They must have had massive air width. These things don't come cheap. Someone very important. The leader of a massive on-air game built by these people. Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. A list of names under the stations suggests people across 6 Isolas would be playing. Muindi, Insulinda, Kotla, Grad, Samara, and even Il Mara. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
My God, it's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became. Exactly. This schedule, I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages. Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board. These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins, casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins, with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins, hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however. It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin, green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welkin creatures. Some people really like building a world, I think, even if it's just for a game. This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real. Political commentary. That one has a great beard too. Just look at those details. So much effort.
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, a much-needed respite from our own world. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario, a desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe." This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal. As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details." The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: "Call in, tune out," "Wirral untethered," and "Heat death of the universe." The full text reads, Heat death of the universe is the new black. Another note says, the biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s. Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries hard not to look at the bookstore windows. It's unwise. A dusty radio computer sleeps on its wired frame.
Another radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside.
What he means is that these things cost money. Why would anyone just leave it behind? This is the Ream Civic radio computer, model RC5120, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a Ream-compatible printer.
It's your call. You're in charge of this expedition, officer.
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from... It's empty like a beehive.
This is where the memory should go.
Nothing happened. Something's missing. There's no tape in the player.
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace? Yes, that is the question.
Like he's ready to lay out a fine theory, crafted together like a puzzle box.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games, only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
Utter madness, he thinks, as a compliment.
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry. But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an inter-isolary game before. We just don't have the technology. Indeed, those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the We World board game, with heat death thrown in. Through call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the game master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
His fascination has swept aside other concerns for the moment. He's a little hooked. Coordinating so many games would take a whole switchboard of people, possibly divided into sub-frequencies.
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard. Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but... Yes, especially in here. Okay, let's keep moving.
Это очко навыков мы тратим на самые важные ячейки.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here. She has begun to idly clean one of her carving tools with a dirty kerchief.
I'm listening. Fortress Accident, the radio game studio. They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules. The usual, they ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time. Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest. Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic, and to show up to work on time.
She's right. Showing up to work on time is important. Showing up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is difficult, especially if you've been drinking.
Still, not everyone is going to make it. That's the nature of the game.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die.
Anything else? Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition.
She doesn't let it show, but there's anger in there. She doesn't like jewelers, thinks they're a mob.
Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dies out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there. Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
Wow, you work hard. Oh yes, you hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it real and provide. Oh yeah, like a horse, a workhorse, for hard work. Look at yourself. You're a human pedometer. You must have walked 200,000 steps down cracked asphalt, mosaic, sand, and linoleum. That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is harsh and people are evil. You didn't make it that way, and you won't let it break you. You ride. Oh, you do. You make money. You got gills, baby. Meaning those black papers with the faces of the innocents on them. You bring in the Franco-Negros and the Solas. It ain't easy, but you do it. Day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a cop and a sprinter and a money printer. Sure. And has it been easy? Is life easy? Have you not gone into cardiac arrest? Are you not about to have an anxiety attack or shoot yourself in the mouth? But you still hustle 24/7, ride or die. Now, ask yourself, are you rich? That's right. You work harder than anyone. You almost rode yourself to the grave and you're still practically a hobo. Because of the taxes, G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers in your pocket, stealing from you every time you buy, sell, walk, talk, fart, so much as sneeze. Every time you wipe your ass, they got their direct and their indirect modes of taxation. Sales tax, excise duty, extraction tax, alimony, one tax that doesn't even have a name. Plus there's the stuff people in other countries pay for. That makes them ask for more money from you. Here, total tax duties add up to 98% of all your money. What are you, a racist? Don't be a racist. Be a cool immigrant, ultra-liberal free market advocate. Ride or die. Keep it street. Here you go, hustler. Fight the righteous fight. Free the people. Keep it real. Keep it street. Keep foaming at the mouth furiously on the tax issue.
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here?
Hello again, esteemed officer. Oh, a nature enthusiast. Good choice. I knew it was a good idea to keep that around.
Ouch. That must hurt. Not great for the neighbors. It must be glorious to behold, dark pink and snow white. The bang is for all the scary things in the world that may happen at any time.
Видео. Блять.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? 57.
In the cabin, you see a set of...
Я не думала, нам нужно позвонить и... Ну, видимо, нет. Я просто имею в виду, что мы должны лишь как-то технику это забрать, как-то что-то это. То есть ее здесь не будет в любом случае. Не думала, мы должны звонок сделать. Видимо, это типа за кадром.
This is the trap, Morel. Nothing but locusts in this trap.
Empty as all of them. One more of these and we're done. No, I'm fine. I didn't mean to complain, it's just...
The reeds by the abandoned campsite hiss and shake. It's good the cryptozoologists left. This isn't a very cozy place to stay. The later it gets, the colder. Remnants of the camp can still be seen in the sand. The fire that's gone out. A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one. It takes you a moment. The trap feels light and silent. No locusts. No phasmid either, but still.
Well, the bait worked on something. This doesn't mean it was a reed monster, though. Unless you see one in there. I just see an empty trap.
The netting is a little untidy, messier than the others. Like someone or something picked up the trap and shook it before dropping it back down on the ground.
Perhaps our cryptozoologists have competition in the form of an actual entomologist, or someone else is sabotaging them. I could present more theories, but then I would be taking this on as a case, which I'm not. Okay, but after that we get back to our own assignments. There really is no explanation for why we are taking such a detour at this point in the investigation. None whatsoever.
Behind you, the ruins of a residential building rise over the reeds, shielding them from the wind. The reeds rustle confidently. When this district was booming, the reeds were kept at bay. Nothing obscured the freshly painted facades. Nowhere for drunks and adventurous teenagers to hide. Now only the wind blows. As you approach, the man turns and greets you with a polite wave.
Ah, super. It's the officer. I was not expecting to run into you again, but things have a funny way of turning out, no? What brings you down to the scenic Martinez coast? Well, that's très simple. I was visiting the fishing village just north of here. They have applied for a series of microloans to revitalize the old market. And well, I wished to see the situation firsthand. And then, well, I had some extra time on my hands, so I decided to stroll down here. It's quite peaceful, isn't it? Ah? Is that what those pockmarks are? I might have guessed. Fascinating how much history is contained right here, if only one knows where to look for it.
You feel like there's something you could say here, if only you really knew what was going on.
Ah bon? I'm all ears, officer. My friend, if it's la responsabilité you're after, I have good news for you. There's no need to form such a committee, because it already exists.
God, of course it does. These moral intern types.
The Comité de Responsabilité de Revachol. It acts as a sort of clearinghouse for coalition activities. To put it simply, they are the ultimate arbiters of la responsabilité in this part of the world.
Yes, this is just the sort of reasonable authority you're looking for.
I would offer to connect you with the committee myself, but alas, I am not actually in Martinez.
What? Where is he then?
Of course, we are speaking informally, but officially, I am still in La Delta, preparing for an upcoming conference on fuel oil derivatives. That's why it would be extremely irregular, or potentially even inappropriate for me to intercede with the committee concerning a district I'm not officially in. Well, under ordinary circumstances, the committee contacts you. But if you have information of a vital interest, they might be willing to entertain an exception. In which case, I would advise you to contact them via Coalition Warship Archer. Officer, you mean to say that you haven't noticed the giant Coalition aerostatic peacefully patrolling the skies over Revachol?
You follow the man's gaze out toward the west. There, hanging some distance above the horizon, you can just make out a strange silhouette. It looks to your eye like some kind of long metallic fish suspended beneath a number of ceiling fans. Don't let the paint job fool you. It's a goddamn killing machine, and there's nothing you can do to stop it.
That is part of the idea, of course. The Coalition doesn't want the people of Revachol to feel that they are under a military occupation. That is why the Archer is always careful to maintain a constant, discreet distance. You see, in addition to being an airborne artillery platform, Coalition Warship Archer is also the linchpin of the Coalition's surveillance and communications infrastructure in Revachol. And listening. It has the most objective vantage point in the entire city. Not to mention a vast array of radio, photographic, and meteorological monitoring instruments. I find it a great comfort to know there are benevolent powers watching over all, in strict accordance with the Wayfarer Act and the Brüssel-Mühne Conventions. This is quite the problem. Very tricky. Of course, the Archer has orders to fire on any unidentified aerostatics that might approach it, so it might be safer to get in touch from the ground. But in that case, you would require a radio transmitter capable of broadcasting on Coalition frequencies. And that kind of technology naturally isn't typically available for non-Coalition use. Yeah, I suppose there might be some way to circuit bend your way onto those frequencies, but you'd have to be one of those techno-tinkerers to do it. Unauthorized circuit bending is a very serious matter with grave security implications. But as of the moment, there is no specific law forbidding it. In Revachol, at least.
Ah, good. Techno-tinkerers. Just what this side task was missing.
Let me just say that I have complete confidence in the RCM. I'm sure you'll figure something out. Always my pleasure to be of assistance to the RCM. Godspeed, and if we don't meet again, bonne chance.
The machine's keyboard, behind the hatch, sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments, smouldering in the dark like fireflies. Silver tape on the side says, in black marker, log, February to March. This is the machine's filament memory. The speaker comes.
Good afternoon, Fortress accident on Saint-Brune. This is the East in. I have 2 machines.
Saint-Brune, that...
Anything else I can help you? The filament you have inserted into... I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Is this the personal log? Good. Please repeat the password.
Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer. Maybe he knows something.
I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder for stress accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot give you access to this filament.
I'm afraid we are not doing that, unless we want to wait for a month.
Now, can you please repeat the password? Received. I will...
That sounds bad. A login attempt. Something a criminal would do.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Goodbye, Fortress accident.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated.
Oh, hey, Wade. There's coffee in the back. Oh, wait. I meant the mother's love.
Coffee in the back. Something familiar about that. Coffee and stale cookies.
Look, man. I'm at liberty to talk about the sacred blaze of the mother's glorious heart, but not about the coffee. This is a special place. There's a perforation in the world up there, a way out into nothingness. This church was built around it for purposes of veneration. I circled it, nurtured by the silence bestowed by the mother. One of these days, I'll be pure enough to go drink from it directly. No, no, no. There's a new god in town, and she can't be painted or sculpted because she has no limb or even a face. She is the end. She is a cavity in the dark beyond sense. She saved me, but I couldn't describe her to you. No one can, Holmes, and no one ever will. I will be incinerated, but not destroyed. Finally, I won with the state of the world before reality began. I'm a seraph, Holmes. I sing the mother's glory. I ain't from no Marietta, if that's what you're thinking. And the song I sing is Silent as the Mother.
He lost his cool there for a moment. Seems you hit some nerve.
Hard to say. I think I did some construction work here, back when I still had material worries. Up there, I realized what the true purpose of the church was. Been spending a lot of time here ever since. The past is nothing to me now, way. It didn't belong to me.
Does it mean he witnessed the police raid?
I think they were. A long time ago. I had to shed them like skins to get closer to the center of the silence. You could have them. I don't need them anymore.
They look pretty dapper, actually. The sinewy figure lingers on the wooden beams, blending into the shadows.
Something like that.
Did you witness it?
Not really, or at least I don't remember much of it anymore. The mother's love has done its job. That's what's so great about the mother. It lets you forget about everything.
Could it be that he just doesn't want to discuss a police raid with another police officer?
Too many times, Essay. You need it for something.
No need to overdo it. He won't mind sharing it with you. The lieutenant raises his eyebrow, but doesn't say anything.
Don't sweat it, vato. The password is afterlife death. What you think of that? Makes me almost pity La Nilita Pequeña when I hear it. Look, man, I'm at liberty to talk about the sacred blaze of the mother's glorious heart. This is a special. I circled it. Nurture. It's not like that at all, man. It's just faith and joyful service. I know it will take time. Don't sweat it.
The sinewy figure lingers on the wooden beams, blending into the shadows.
I think we're done here, Essay.
That was an interesting conversation. However, I'm still not sure how it's relevant to our investigation.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated. Nothing happens. The speaker comes.
Good afternoon. Votre accident on Saint-Brune. Good. Please repeat the password. Good. I have unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament. Votre accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Goodbye, votre accident.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing. The printer prints out a long text document with dated paragraphs. It looks a bit like someone's journal. The first entry, made on the 4th of February, 51, by an unknown author, is short and concise. Arrived at the church, the door was boarded up, so I used the crowbar to get inside. Looks like the place has been deserted. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'll ask around. Need to figure out how to get the electricity in. The lieutenant leans closer, scouring the printout over your shoulder. Just as you finish reading, he looks up, muttering under his breath.
4th of February. That's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines has been here for quite a while.
6th of February, 51. Had a little chat with the local fishermen. Said I shouldn't go near that place, that the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, all right. Still haven't figured out the electricity. Even one of the spookers themselves says it's unnerving. What was that about narcotics? This could prove to be interesting.
I doubt that we can find any. It's just idle fishermen's gossip to scare away the kids. Nothing spooky about this place either. It's just abandoned and cold, and in an awful part of town.
7th of February, 51. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking ESCA series, something advanced.
Why would anyone need any of this equipment here?
8th of February, 51. Bought the antenna, had some problems setting it up. Called Simo for help. Heard the others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav started a rock band again. Lexi has been seen asking money from strangers. But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads. The programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're fucked. I just have to find out what caused that data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how it managed to wipe out the backup, when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know. Everyone thinks it's impossible. They say I must be lying. I'm here to set it right.
Seems like something to do with radio computers. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about them to understand what the author is saying. Something about the backup data getting destroyed, and how everyone thought it was the author's fault. Let's just keep reading. I think these people worked in the radio computer games business, the one we saw in the Doom commercial area. They must be our former co-workers.
12th of February, 51. Brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently, there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see the Martinez people again. Everything's now set up in the church. Going to start working tomorrow, 8 a.m.
The strike. We are nearing the date of the murder. Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what's that radio anomaly that sent this person here in the first place.
25th of February, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in, the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow. It swallows sound. Need to get some mics.
Is she talking about?
28th of February, 51. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the swallow is real and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence with a diameter of approximately 3 meters. Seems like the higher I go, the less I record. This might be a coincidence, or it could be connected to the data loss that led me here.
The pillar of silence. She is talking about the silence. Is she suggesting it's more than just an architectural quirk?
The lieutenant doesn't answer. He follows your gaze, studying the basins. The water shines in them. No ripples. March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music, one neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous, I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. The other day, one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good, I don't want anyone distracting me from my work. That disco man must be a cell.
The girl on the ice? Sounds like her, yes.
March 51. A new 2-meter aux cable. Noodles, crackers, ping-ping energy drinks, water, toothpaste, gum. Also, some canned air. Your reading is interrupted by the sound of the church door opening. A strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
Well, you won't find any music venue organizers here. It's just me and my computer, and it has been this way for weeks. Now please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything.
We should talk to her after she has rebooted the machine.
The shaggy-haired girl kneels on the sea ice. She looks up as you approach.
So you talked to my associates, right? Are you gonna... Great. Let us know if there's any progress, will ya? We've been waiting for weeks here. It's supposed to become, like, a club for anodic dance music, like that new style of synthesizer stuff they play at the Palaceum. Except that, yeah.
The floorboards are twisting, and the shooting beams are slowly cracking, like bones. Far east of the Golden Delta, beyond the industrial port, there is a black patch of unlit coast with the smallest creatures on the ice. There will never be a club for anodic music here. Not in a million years.
You know, anodic, cathodic, music that's made with electronic instruments. Synthesizers and tape consoles, microcomputers too. Anything that uses electricity, but isn't guitars. Also found sounds, stuff like that. Go ahead.
Motorway south. The lone vector stretches in your mind's eye into the wild pale yonder, for an unimaginable distance, forgetting, until you can no longer remember anything. No cities, no mountains, no oceans, and finally, no vector. Nothing remains. A blank space with no point of reference, where only one type of motion is possible. The motion of a human throat. Swallow in, and then it comes to you. To reach the end of the motorway south is to be unborn. You've had this thought before, while aimlessly wandering the streets of Jamrock. A lost piece of the man you were. A dark hope.
Ну, не самая полезная фигня, конечно, пусть у нас не то, что много поверхней тебе. Хотя... Пожалуйста.
Hello again.
device is cold to the touch. An angular Omicron logo adorns the yellow plastic cover. Underneath you see a real...
Hello again.
The device is cold to the touch. An angular Omicron logo adorns the yellow plastic cover. Underneath you see a reel of tape.
Hello again.
The device is still warm from her touch and heavy as a brick from the batteries inside. The company logo, Omicron, adorns its yellow plastic cover. Inside, the tape is rolling. The girl looks at the device in your hands. She looks you in the eye, her pupils wide, surrounded by a ridiculous amount of makeup. The wind howls. She remains silent. It's real. Tell her.
What is? Okay, I'll stick to it.
Something changes between you two. She looks at you differently now. As an equal. A fellow.
So thanks, I guess, for the psych session. Maybe I can return it. What's been eating you, officer? Come on, I can tell. But, okay. Be a boyadero about it if you want to. What is it? Oh, really? So, the thing that's been eating you is the slow pace of social progress. No, it sounds like you just got chick issues. Okay, why do you think that? There you have it then, chick trouble. Not political after all. Who was she? Really? You seem to be pretty upset about this chica. Are you sure you don't remember anything about her? Wow, man. That's some pretty strange shit. Are you sure the letters were for you? How come you don't remember, though? Is it like some selective memory thing? Yeah, or it might be that. This one time I did so much booze that I forgot too.
It's obvious she's done more than booze.
Or it might just be some psych bullshit, you know? Königstein wank. You know, the psych thing they've got going on there. Rich people like it. People in Königstein are mostly rich.